important. Long hair started actually happening. I went to both of the Beatles concerts. The first time I saw the Beatles at the International Amphitheater, and we had really lousy seats, but it didn't matter. It was just an absolute scream-a-thon. The minute they hit the stage, we were screaming.
The music I sort of adopted in the late 50s and early 60s was jazz. I thought jazz was like it. My direction growing up was to be like a cool guy. And girls would be the next step. They'd flock my way once I found all that stuff out.
But the big place for me was Wise Fools on Lincoln Avenue with Muddy Waters.
The gypsy woman told my mother.
When the 60s came, everyone jumped into the whole rock thing and into the alternative culture thing. And I was left there, being a jazz musician, thinking, hey, I was going to be the cool guy. Now all you guys are the cool guys, and I'm not. So I eventually moved over and grew my hair long and adapted to what was going on in the 60s.
I saw many concerts at Grant Park, including Jefferson Airplane, Sly and the Family Stone. That one actually turned into a riot.
The first concert I ever saw was Miles Davis, John Coltrane, Cannonball Adderley. This was like an incredible band of like the best guys in the world. And so that set the table for like live music for me from that moment on. It was like, how do you top that the next time, you know?
Going to concerts at the Coliseum, seeing the Led Zeppelin, going to see Jimi Hendrix play with his teeth and crush guitars, seeing Mick Jagger just eloquently laying those big lips into Satisfaction.
I saw the Flock, I saw the Shadows of Night, I saw the Crying Shames. You know, part of the appeal for those bands was the fact that they were local and they had some success.
I went to the Kinetic Playground, I went to the Coliseum, and Aragon Ballroom.
Kinetic Playground was a place to go hear music and to socialize.
The Rainbow Ice Rink that my dad and this other man owned was part of a building that was cut in half in order to put in the Kinetic Playground.
The Kinetic Playground was like heaven. It was the best place possible to go to. When it first opened, we actually couldn't believe that such a cool place existed for us to go to.
They had a 360-degree screens. This is way before anyone else ever did that. Hanging from the ceiling was an area where they had all these different projectors that had psychedelic effects, different pictures of different things going on. They had meditation booths that were big, tall circles that were covered in carpet with just a little opening, and you could go in there to meditate. The things that happened in those booths, you can only imagine. They had an ice cream parlor, they had a record store in there.
I'll never forget the double bill of Led Zeppelin and the Iron Butterfly.
The Grateful Dead, Procol Harum, the Moody Blues, Led Zeppelin, Richie Havens, Four Tops, Temptations. Most of the Motown groups played there. B.B. King. They were all there. They were just everybody from the 60s that were there.
One of the really fun things that started happening at the playground was at the end of the night, we knew it was the end of the night because all of a sudden the loudspeakers would crank up Bob Dylan's Everybody Must Get Stoned. And what happened was every single person still left would join hands, form a chain, and literally skip through the whole place. You know, shouting and yelling and having fun. It was a real together thing. Everybody was together. And then at the end of the song, the lights went up and we went home.
Old Town was terrific. They had head shops down there. Most of the people walking around down there looked more like hippies. You didn't see a lot of suits and ties down there.
North and Wells was the epicenter for that culture, for the new culture that we were all trying to experience.
It was really like our version of Haight-Ashbury.
I used to call it jokingly Wells Street University.
Because it was a place of learning about people.
I feel I learned a lot more there than I ever learned in school.
And all of a sudden, that was the place to go. It was a place that everybody went at night. And
They had Second City, which was just so cool with the humor that was going on in there. It was a very, very unique place.
It was what we would call avant-garde. There were vendors, there were dance places, poetry reading houses, coffee houses, things to see. Strange people walking up and down the street.
there were little old shops with all kinds of knickknacks and things, but you know, we thought it was charming and wonderful. We were used to Marshall Fields.
The first stop would be the Mole Hole, which was the store that sold all the little buttons with the sayings, you know, it's a yippee and free love. Boy, that free love button, you could never wear that at home.
There was the Hungry Eye.
The Emporium.
A hot dog joint called Franksville was the cool place to be. That was literally where the young flower children, hippies, whatever you wanted to call us, hung out. That's where we found out, you know, who was playing where and what was happening.
There were a lot of, quote, head shops, and I remember a place called the Bazaar, big place.
The Earl of Old Town for the best folk singers in America. The Gate of Horn, which brought people like Odetta.
Hamburger places with peanut shells on the floor, and it was just very different.
We would walk up and down Piper's Alley, and they would be selling all kinds of paraphernalia and strange things.
Of course, there was lots of pot and stuff down there. And what I really remember, this is crazy, is the prostitutes.
I still remember the strip joints. I think I remember there might have been a place called the Crystal Pistol. I don't know why I remember that.
Wall Street was also a place where you might strike up a conversation with strangers. It was a place where you went to just sightsee. You took a girl to date, to walk up and down Wall Street. Some people never went into any of the shops or stores. They just wanted to be seen or to see what was happening on Wall Street.